He is the analyst for CBS Sports HQ. He was at the HBCU Legacy Bowl this weekend. He is the owner of Football Gameplan. And we will give you your flowers, Emory, joining us not only on our hotline, but also on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheScoreChicago. Thanks for coming on, Emory.
Appreciate you guys having me on. And I love the music drop behind that Etherist analysis I gave. That was Body Body. You know why that hits home? Because I'm from New Orleans. So everything about that clip was perfect.
Listen, our producers, they pay attention to what's going on. That's Ray Diaz and Tyler Buterbar getting it done. Come on now, Emory. You've been on with us before. You know how we roll.
I knew it. I shouldn't have expected less, man. You guys are awesome.
Unfortunately, we're a little too familiar with the tank in Chicago right now, and not the No Limit one, but we're trying to figure out if the Bulls are going to tank or not.
Check you out.
We're true soldiers. Let me just read some of these comments here from this YouTube link, because here's what was getting told to Emory at the time. 5 months ago, Bears to win the division is comedy gold. 462 likes. David Jones, 1485, said, no way does Chicago win the division. No way. And then Iceman, ironic, 1272 says, they all think Ben Johnson is God. And then Dominic Castro, 6483, says, I don't even think God himself could make that happen. And then they all just start replying, crying, laughing emojis to each other. Not that I'm pointing this out for people to find and then troll on them or anything, but that's some pretty confident talk in the comments, Emory.
You know what's fascinating about that is the fact that, you know, when you look at this thing holistically, and I'm not a fan of any team, I'm just a fan of being right. So when I'm looking at these rosters and basing it off how I graded guys, how they draft and all that stuff like that, I'm like, yay, the Bears actually have a pretty good team on paper based on how they drafted and what this depth chart looks like. And folks always cling to, oh, you must be a Bears fan. Like, bro, I just like the analysis of, you know, guys. I like players. And so when these guys are doing well, I'm like, okay, yeah, that I kind of had him rated this way. That's how I see it as an analyst. I was a dummy thinking that's how all analysts work. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when those folks were saying that, they should know by now. I'm going to just sit back and wait. And as soon as the Lions clinch that playoff exit, boom, retweet, let's go. You know what I'm
saying? For you, man.
I love that for you, Emory. And listen, I love that you love tape because there's truth in tape. Now, you can say what you see through different lenses might vary from person to person, but I believe in you, Emory, as you know. I'm very curious. The Bears, in very unfamiliar waters, we were just talking about, they're picking lower than they have in any first round of a draft since 2011 this year. Is there going to be something at 25 that can help them immediately? And is that more likely to happen at edge or left tackle, if so?
Glad you asked that question because I've been compiling a list of things in life that were a mistake. Number one, speakerphone. Speakerphone, number one. And number two might be airports. But third, and fighting hard for third, might be mock drafts. Because what mock drafts do is kind of get everybody in a sense of thinking these are only good players in existence. And so if we can't get the same 10 players we've talked about since January, then everybody else just not good. Well, you're talking to someone that grades about over 1,000 prospects each draft class in the draft guide, which people can go get footballgameplan.com/2026 draft guide, pre-order it. So I always see the depth of the class no matter what year it is. So yes, you will be able to get somebody that can help the Bears at that position, insert position here at pick number 20, whatever, because there's a litany of talented players that we haven't even begun to discuss yet because everybody's focused on there's people right now, big name people, still talking about Fernando Mendoza. Like, bro, we get it. Like, move on. Like, there's like other So I am always looking at the depth. There are so many good players in this class. D-line, linebackers, edge, whatever the Bears feel they need, they will find someone there and in subsequent rounds too.
I'm sorry I don't have this in front of me, and I'm sorry to ask this question, too. Have you done a mock draft yet? And who do you have going to the Bears at 25 if you have?
I don't do a mock draft, and I haven't done one yet. I only do 2 a year on CBS.com. One is a small school only mock draft where the first round is only people from small schools. And again, small schools are schools that are FCS D2, D3, because what they've now tried to do nowadays, that may add to my list two of things that were a mistake. They're adding now, oh, this guy goes to a small school. Oh, yeah, what school? And you think it's Illinois State. You think it's Southern Illinois. Oh, no, he went to Iowa State. Let me get out my face, man. Like, so they're trying if it ain't the top 10 teams, they think it's a small school. So I do a small school mock, and I do a what would I do mock draft. So that one always gets a lot of buzz because people call me crazy all the time for what I would do. But I thought that's what you got into this business for your opinion. Like, why would I want to parrot everybody else? And why would I want to try to think like what the teams are thinking? Like, no, just do what you believe they should do and let that be your mock. It's only the two.
So to reset, it's speakerphone. Emory Hunt's mistakes are speakerphone, airports,
yeah.
and the mock draft. I'm sorry, I forgot that it was airports because why airports? I have to know.
They're kind of one and the same because when you think about speakerphones and you think about people that there's no rules in airports. So I just flew back from the Legacy Bowl like you mentioned. It was 10 a.m. in the morning in New Orleans airport. There were 3 young ladies sitting there eating a big plate of nachos. Like, how you even have the taste for that at 10 in the morning? Like, there's no rules. And then you have people, as soon as I see somebody walking around like this, I lose it. Because speakerphone, I don't want to be a part of your conversation. Nobody does. So does this not work anymore? That's why I said speakerphone was a mistake. That's number 1 with a bullet. No one's topping that one.
That's
Amazing.
fair. That's fair. The speakerphone is very fair.
Drinking at all hours happens in airports too, I feel like.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere though, Emory.
But listen, there was a guy I got on one flight coming from New Orleans. This was a 6 a.m. flight going back to New York City. And I stayed out the whole night, try to sleep on the plane. I get in there, it was a 6 a.m. flight, so we boarding at 5:30. So I'm laying on the window seat. Dude sitting next to me, and within like 10 seconds, cracks open a platter of fried catfish. I'm like, bro, where you even get that from? And how you have a taste for it? It's still, they don't even have to shade. It's like the light's not even on. Like, so it's crazy how people just lose all human interaction ability and human, decency in the airport.
Amazing.
Tartar sauce all over the place.
Okay, and now to get back to the question, I will not talk about a mock draft with you, but
Bears.
We talked about this earlier. Like, you said you like players. What did you think of the Bears draft last year, now that you have the chance to look back at it, since you did pick them to take the North in August?
I love the draft, by the way, and I have a clip out there from day 3 when I was on CBS Sports HQ, and they asked me what are some of your favorite day 3 picks. One was Jay Toya, the defensive tackle for Dallas Cowboys, who got in some later in the season, was playing a vital role in that rotation role. The other one was Kyle Monangai, and I was big on Kyle Monangai, and I'm glad he was able to be a part of DeAndre Swift and what they did with the run game. But I was also a big fan of what they did. One of my top tackles was Ozzie Trapillo. And, people thought I was crazy then, but I just love the fact that someone that was that tall, 6'8", had very good knee bend, strong hands, and all of those things that you need to play tackle really well. But he was doing it, which is rare for someone that tall to be that dominant in what he was doing at Boston College. So I love that Luther Burden was my number 1 slot receiver. We saw the type of impact he had this year. So I thought the Bears nailed the draft. And then I'm always also big on the undrafted rookie free agent. So it was funny because I don't say much, but I do keep receipts. Soon as homeboy caught one of them game-winning touchdown passes, best believe I had my scouting report on Jade Walker. And here's the high grade I had on Jade Walker because I followed him at Grand Valley State because I used to MC the media day for the GLIAC in their preseason football meeting. So I knew about Jade Walker when he was a Laker, and then he goes to A&M. And people was like, why you have this high grade in this dude from me? He barely played. Bang! And so I enjoy what the Bears did. And obviously I knew of Theo Benedict from years for how, I cover a lot of Canadian college football up there as well, too. So everything the Bears did, I was a big fan of. And I thought at some point talent has to trump out. When you stockpile so much talent, they have to win games. And it finally came to fruition.
Okay, so we're joined again by Emory Hunt. Sorry, Emory takes...
Modern philosopher and football guy, Emory Hunt.
He's the owner of football Gameplan. He's the CBS Sports HQ analyst, and he was at the HBCU Legacy Bowl this weekend. We got somebody in our Twitch comments like, well, objectively, that bowl doesn't matter. Explain to people why you go to events like this and why it does matter in the grand scheme of things.
Because it's sad too when you think about that statement, because a lot of people in the media feel that way about all-star games outside of Senior Shrine, which is why I'm the only one at all of them. I look like the dummy. I'm at the Hula, the American, the Shrine, Senior, HBCU Legacy, Tropical Bowl, FCS Bowl, even a bowl up in Canada called the East-West Bowl, which happens early May. And I'm wondering, like, because I don't start doing the draft stuff until January, because I'm doing NFL and college throughout the regular season. So I'm shocked that draft analysts aren't at all these all-star games. This is your Super Bowl, right? They only go to the two major events and then they go to the combine. So the HBCU Legacy Bowl is valuable and important because there's so many college prospects coming into the draft every year. And how the league does it, they rank and file. So prospects that are a little bit higher, they tend to end up at the senior, and then you funnel down. So by them only having so many spots, a lot of great talent don't have places to play in all-star games. And so there's a ton of talent at the HBCU levels, has always been the case. Obviously, the greatest Bear of all time, Walter Payton, Jackson State guy. And when you think about going to the Legacy Bowl, where you have a collection of the best HBCU talent, you get a chance, scouts get the chance to see these guys up close, see body type, see how they move, how they play. And a lot of these guys end up on rosters. And there's going to be one big one. Ironically enough, he's a Morgan State Bear, and Eric Hunter. Now, I call a lot of Morgan State games, so I've seen him his whole career. And last year you had Elijah Williams get picked up by the Minnesota Vikings. He played really well in the preseason, made the 53, great rotational player for them. Eric Hunter at linebacker is 6'3", 225, can run like the wind, and does a good. And he was actually at the American Bowl too. Had a great week there. Had an interception. Had 2 interceptions in practice. Here in the Legacy Bowl, had multiple interceptions as well. So you're going to see a bunch of these guys. May not get drafted outside of Hunter, but a lot of these guys will end up on NFL rosters and find a way to make a team. And so it just shows you there's so much talent out there that these all-star games are very important.
Emory, we were talking Bears a little bit earlier, and the fact of the matter is right now the Bears do not have a whole lot of space to make moves in free agency. So they are, in some ways, and that could change. They're pretty dependent on the draft this year to make some improvements. So who are some specific names at 25 in the first round, edge rushers that you like that could be there at 25 that Bears fans can start to think about and to study for potentially being on this team when you look at your list and your depth chart?
I'm a big proponent of the draft because it's the cheapest way to keep your team consistently good. That's why the teams that usually are in the postseason all the time, they ace the draft, like the Los Angeles Rams, like the Baltimore Ravens. I know they didn't make it this year, but they always do a great job in the draft. And that's how you keep that talent young, inexpensive, and plentiful. So if you're looking at Chicago and looking at, okay, they were pretty good front line, and think about where there's a chance for them to probably add some depth. Let's say on the interior defensive line. Dominic Orange is someone that I'm a big fan of. And, I know people we look at, well, you already have that in Javon Dexter. Well, why not get another one? You have 2 like you had with Ted Washington and I forgot the other guy name, the big guys you guys had up front with the 2 big nose
Grady
tackles.
Jarrett and Andrew Billings.
No, I'm talking about back when you had Ted Washington.
Oh, Keith Traylor.
Keith Traylor.
Yeah, Keith Traylor, yeah.
So you could recreate that and frees up opportunities on the edge. Or you look at someone on the edge, Cassius Haugh out of Texas A&M has that body type of what you already have in Montez Sweat that can bring it. If you want someone that's kind of a versatile player, I know people don't see him as a first rounder, but this is how a week like this can elevate somebody and remind folks how good he was when he was a freshman. And Harold Perkins. Now, when he was a freshman, we thought this was the next coming of Micah Parsons because LSU had him as a defensive edge rusher at 6'1", 220 pounds, and he was living in the backfield like he was a part of the offense. Had crazy sacks, game-changing plays, and LSU got the great idea as a sophomore. Like, you know what? Let's take you from that position and move you to off-ball linebacker and have you do anything else but rush the passer. So he had a down sophomore year, and then he came back this year after the injury and played more of a hybrid safety linebacker role. So he's a versatile athlete. I expect him to test really well, and I think that's going to help him out. Lee Hunter is someone that could be a younger version of what you have in Grady Jarrett, defensive tackle out of Texas Tech, transfer from UCL, goes to Texas Tech and balls out there, and also had a really good week at the Senior Bowl. So those are guys to me. C.J. Allen, obviously, is a linebacker if you're looking to add depth there, although I was impressed with how Jackson did, DeMarco Jackson. I was a big fan of him coming out of App State. He was in New Orleans. I think I had a tweet about that too. Like, man, it's funny how New Orleans had some of these guys and then they didn't find a way to put him out there on the field. Jackson gets the call because guys got hurt and was thumping cats when he was out there getting those opportunities. He looked the same way he did at App State. So I think it shows you that there's depth in this class. There's some versatility. The Bears don't need much in terms of immediate impact, so they could take a chance on the Harold Perkins or guys like that. I would even throw out a corner, the corner from slip my name, Chris Johnson from San Diego State. See, I have too many names in my head right now. So
we all
Chris
do.
Johnson from San Diego State, outstanding corner, good matchup skills, good ball skills. So you could take a chance when you have the roster you have if you're Chicago and just go for specific scheme fit types to fit your team.
Emory Hunt, it is always fun to talk to you, and this has been a lot of fun just talking about players. And also, I attached the YouTube link to our Twitch chat, twitch.tv/thescorechicago, if anybody wants to comment on the comments of Emory predicting the Bears winning the North back in August. Just because game should recognize game. You know, just in case those comments need to be checked.
Appreciate. Pull up. And I implore you, your fans, to go and get a nice warm cup of coffee, a hot chocolate, whatever you're drinking right now, because it's cold outside, and just enjoy the comments. Because again, I'm telling you right now, I dove back in there a couple times too. Just again, receipts.
Not you spinning the block on the comments.
Listen, I'm talking about just twirling with the big steering wheel, like the no power steering. Just let me get back in these comments and get busy.
I love it. I love the petty. Emory, I love the receipts. We will make sure to get you on soon again because this has been a lot of fun, as it always is when you join the show.
Thanks, Emory.
Appreciate y'all. Thanks for having me.